Welcome back, and get ready to DIY for a great reason.
Yeah, the folks at American Patchwork and Quilting magazine were hearing about foster kids moving out of situations pretty quickly, and the kids were throwing all of their things into garbage bags.
Well, they wanted to make things a little bit better, so they thought about pillowcases to help with that transition. That's when they came up with the 1 Million Pillowcases challenge.
And our Jillian Lopez met up with Jody Sanders from American Patchwork and Quilting magazine right here in our studio to learn step-by-step how to make a pillowcase so you can see how easy it is.
If I can learn, anyone can. We can all be part of the challenge. So I'll have you set this to the side because this is what we're aiming for at the end here.
That's right.
So you're going to walk me through the steps. You said they're simple, but I'm really excited to learn. So where do we begin?
Yeah, we're gonna start with 2 pieces to the pillowcase. So we've got them laid out here on the table. We have our band, which you saw earlier is that green piece, a smaller piece, and then we have the larger piece. So I'm gonna have you go to that corner, I'm gonna go to this corner. We call this the roll it up method, and it's because of the way that we prepare the fabric before we sew it. So we're just gonna start rolling here.
Okay, I can do this.
And you can do it by yourself, but we're helping each other out here today. Then we're each gonna take a corner and we're gonna marry it up. We're gonna have all 3 layers even together.
Okay.
And then we've got our pins here. So I'm gonna start at this end.
Okay.
And I'll let you start at that end, and we're gonna pin about every 6 inches or so. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. If you're a newer sewer, you might wanna sew or pin a little more closely together just because you want to make sure as you're sewing that all 3 of these layers are together. And then once we get it pinned together, what we're going to do is we're going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to sew that first seam. We've got the machine here, and you may be able to see we've got some blue painter's tape here. It's really important when you're sewing to have a consistent seam allowance. We've got about 3 layers of tape there, so that's going to help us keep an even seam. Now, we don't want to sew over pins, so we're just going to sew maybe 2 or 3 stitches, and then we'll stop.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
All right.
Here we go. So you said just a couple stitches right here.
Let's do a couple of stitches.
Okay.
And like then we're going to have you stop.
Okay.
And pull the pin out.
Okay.
And I've got
so far so good, right?
So far so good. And then we're just going to continue sewing all the way down where the pins are until we get to the very end.
Okay, so we are making progress. I'm actually pretty proud of myself here, but Jody, you're going to continue to take me through the process, so let's look at what the next step is.
Okay, so you've sewn that seam. Now we're going to do what we call watching the magic happen. So I'm going to pull back the band part, and you're going to pull out the center part and just keep pulling. And the nice thing about this method is that it allows you to get a finished seam on both the front and the back. And so what you have after you've sewn that first seam is something that looks like this, and it's really great because it has a finished seam on the front, and then we'll kind of flip it over to the back here, and you can see how it's finished on this side as well.
Oh, that looks
Now,
great.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it to the ironing board and press the band out this way, and then we're gonna finish this at a machine that we call a serger. And it's a different kind of sewing machine. And you don't have to have a serger to finish pillowcases, obviously, but we just wanted to show people that this is a machine that you could use. A lot of people have these machines, but they don't know what to do with it or haven't used it, and so we thought, well, let's show people how to use it. So we have been to the ironing board, and we have pressed our piece here.
Looks amazing.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it in half, and we're gonna put right sides together.
Okay.
So you see something like that. That's starting to look like a pillowcase.
It is. I'm so proud of us.
All right. Now, when we go to the serger, we usually don't use pins with the serger. You know, earlier we used the pin with the sewing machine.
Right.
But there is a blade on the serger, and we don't want a chance getting a pin stuck down in there. So I'm just going to bring this over towards you. So we're going to sew all the way down one side, and then we're going to sew across, serge across the bottom. So I'm going to let you go ahead, and we're going to see how the serger works. The serger will take it through and sew it, but it is taking off some of that excess. You just stop when you're ready to stop. You take your foot off that foot pedal, and you're ready to go.
We're doing it.
All right.
Okay, Jody, we're almost there.
We are. We have serged the edge, and you can see what that looks like. It gives us a nice finished edge, and now I want you to pull it right side out.
Okay, so this will really make it look like a final pillowcase, right?
That's
okay,
right.
so we just fold this through, but you mentioned to do something on the corners here, right?
Yeah, you just poke your fingers in each corner. That just helps
make it look like an actual pillowcase.
There you
I'm
go.
so excited. Look at this.
Look at that. That's fabulous. You did a terrific job.
You need a pattern? No problem. You can download one for download one for atallpeoplequilt.com/millionpillowcases.
And there you can also find suggestions for where you can donate those pillowcases locally.
Yeah, they're at 825,000 and counting on those pillowcases, so they need your help.
Okay, sounds like a good cause. Let's do it.
I just want to see you sew in your heels, like
Okay.
Jillian.
I mean, that's a little pedal there. Just a little pedal action.